Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Wednesday, August the 20th. My name is Barry Enerson. I'm the moderator of the Trade Ideas Trading Room. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in as a guest, or you can use your Facebook or your Twitter account to log in. Well, actually, a few trades today that I made, but I finally had a day which I didn't ever think would happen. But look at my bounce 5-minute candles, the one that I really kind of rely on, and not one single alert today on the bounce plays, which I find astounding. I'm not quite sure. I have tightened up the filters. 3 weeks ago I was getting way too many, and I tightened up the filters, and so I was down to maybe 15 to 20 a day, which is very, very manageable. And but today, absolutely nothing. But just because I'm not getting anything there doesn't mean I'm not going to find things to trade. So one of the things that I, of course, always do is do a scan the evening before to make sure I'm going to be focusing on some of the stocks for today. And one of them, actually, there were several. Let's see, we had one, two, three, four stocks that I traded today were basically because I had traded them or had watched them yesterday. And the first one was LCI. And LCI, this is one that you can see here. This is yesterday, and here's where it closed. Here's where it closed the day before yesterday, and then it had this big swoon all the way down here, and a bit of a rally. And we traded. Some of us traded this in this area here, but certainly I wanted to keep watching it because up here is $41, the high here, and down at 36. So a nice little gap that could have potentially have been filled. So I started watching this first thing in the morning, and so I saw it pop up, and then I saw this pullback. Again, these are 5-minute candles, and then on this candle here, that gave me the confidence. It took out the high right there of 37.29, and so it gave me the confidence to enter this trade, and I took it at 37.40, right in this area here. A little bit of a jog down here to 37.25, but it wasn't too bad. 15 cents off, but I was going to be didn't take that many shares. Okay, so I was looking at maybe a 20 cent or 25 cent stop on this, and again, I didn't take that many shares, and basically rode it up to this level here. It got all the way up to 37.98. And I was really hoping, of course, I was saying in the room that if it could pop through 38, then it could really start to run, because then we're looking at yesterday's resistance of 38.93, but it just kept butting its head up against 38, and it didn't pop down or pop through it, and so I ended up selling it on this candle as it was coming down at 37.76. So it didn't make as much as I thought I would, but again, it was a nice plan to watch a stock that I had seen the day before. Home Depot was exactly the same thing. Now here's Home Depot yesterday. Let me just back up and look at, here's Tuesday's close. I'm sorry, Monday's close for Home Depot. Yesterday, Tuesday, it had the great earnings report, I guess, and then yesterday it just climbed all day. So when I look at the daily chart, I see it's broken. Yet this is yesterday, so it broke free yesterday, and really no resistance. So you always want to see, will it have a second day of continuation? So that's why I was watching it first thing. And let me just bring it to today. So of course you see this giant, excuse me, red or green candle right off the bat. Again, 5-minute candle, so nice from 88.17 all the way to 89.17. So a dollar move in this first candle. So I basically looked at this, and it started to consolidate just a little bit, not huge consolidation, but it was enough that gave me the confidence, and the market was okay, that I decided to take the trade at 89.25, and it moved up all the way to, I guess it got to 90.08, and I was hoping again that it would just continue. Once it broke 90, I was hoping it would continue and just march steadily up. Now you can see it did. It's at 91.07 right now, but I got shaken out of it at this level when it broke back down through 89. Sorry, at 90. I got shaken out of it and sold at 89.81, and it went all the way down to 89.54. I mean, so certainly this could have kept going down. You cannot, obviously, if I had a crystal ball, It would have been nice to know that it was going up another dollar, but nice. But again, just like the first one, based on the fact that I saw these two yesterday. The next one was SAP, and that did not work out. Now this one, obviously I've got other alert windows going, and I think this one just came on, it's a stock making a new high, and it intrigued me because, of course, it was coming back. It had been hit hard. I mean, 77.95 and down to, well, I guess actually it looks worse on the on the chart, but over a dollar it had dropped from the yesterday's close down to the open. So, and it looked like it was starting to come back. So I was alerted to it probably in this area here, and so I took the trade at 77.55, watched it move up to 77.59, so not much. And I remember thinking that if it could break through 60, then it might have a shot, and maybe get back up to the whole number. And but it just didn't do that, and so I took a loss in this, a 7 cent loss as it came back down here. Started watching it again and even said in the room, well, let's watch it again. If it can break 60, 77.60, then it might have a shot, but it just absolutely never did that. So that was a little loss there. AEO. Now, we had been alerted to this one in the pre-market also, because here it is at 1160 where it closed yesterday. And you can see here, the pre-market, I think it was an earnings, something to do with earnings. So beautiful. I mean, from 1160 all the way to a high of 12, or actually what was the high here of 1307. So a tremendous move for it. And it came back down. This gray area here is the pre-market, and it came back down. And so I was definitely aware of this stock. And so on this move here, this green candle here, I decided to take the trade at 1281. Let's just take a look at the daily here, and now I can see it has popped up again, and there was some resistance around 13. So I actually said in the room that I was looking at this as more or less a scalp play. In other words, I wasn't looking for very much. I was going to have a fairly tight stop on it, and if I could take a dime out of it, I would. Trades like this are actually good practice for you too. I didn't. You take a look at the situation. It had fallen a little bit from the pre-market highs, and then it was starting to rally, and you get this big green candle and pretty good volume. Here's the volume candle here. And so, here's the volume candle here, and here are the previous ones on 5 minutes. So definitely the volume, it was increasing. So I took the trade at 1281, and I know I sold the first half at 1287, and this candle, sorry, a little bit screwy here. Well, I'm moving this around, but this got as high as 12.97, hoping obviously for again that break of $13. It just didn't happen, and so on this candle right there, when it came back down through 12.90, I actually said in the room, somebody asked me when would I exit. I said, well, a lot of it's going to have to do with how it performs at the whole number, and it just was getting stuck there. So I took the second half out at 12.90. So obviously, I mean, nothing great. This should have been 12. This is 1287 actually, so 7 cents and 9 cents. So nothing great. And look, it really fell hard. I mean, all the way down to 1227, and now it's rallied tremendously back over 13. So definitely a stock in play. The next one was Redden, RD or Elizabeth Arden. And again, this one was from the previous day. You can see it got killed the previous day. This is where there's a 1961, and I guess it was an earnings report, and so it opened, $15. So it had a terrible day. I was actually watching this all day, hoping for a bounce. You can see this tremendous. This is again yesterday. You can see this tremendous consolidation right here, and I was looking for a bounce play on this, and because you got a $4 gap to fill, and it just really never happened. I remember getting a little bit excited on this candle and this one, and but it just didn't really happen, and it did nothing. But it was still on my radar for today, and so I took this trade here at 1553, and unfortunately, I exited it at 1591. This got as high as 1608, and I held it for a long time, hoping that it would, just keep ramping up. And it was teasing me at 16 for quite a while. And eventually, on one of these candles here is when I decided to exit the trade. In fact, it might have been right here. I can't remember. I don't have my notes in front of me, but it was at 1591 that I exited the trade. Now I notice that now it has just shot up. Again, the market has about 30 minutes left in it, but it was, but again, another trade because I was watching it from yesterday. So, those are three trades: LCI, Home Depot, American Outfitters, American Eagle, sorry, and Elizabeth Arden. Were all basically because I watched these from yesterday and plan to watch them today also. This one, SYF. Now, when I got into this, I noticed this is obviously sort of a new issue. It's only a couple of weeks old, and so a lot of times, these things can really roar. You can see yesterday. I mean, after the initial pop, this is again a couple of weeks ago, and it just kind of consolidated in this area. And then yesterday had this huge day, and then another follow-through day, and you never know. So what I was able to see was another stock making a new high right here, and that's what alerted to me in the first place. And I decided when I looked at the daily chart that I would take a shot at this. Unfortunately, I did not get out of it. It popped up to 24.56, and I think I hear it even popped up, yeah, 24.59. Well, there it is, the high of the day. I did not get out of it. I held it for quite a while through all this consolidation, and then it had the drop, and so I exited at 25.32. So I took an 11-cent loss on this one, and I can see it's come back a little bit, but it continued to fall. So, it just didn't work. The last one was TGX. And again, this was from yesterday. Had great earnings. You can see here is Monday, 53.96, and it opens at 56.72, so almost $3. And basically steady. Actually, I remember, I can see right here, I tried to trade this yesterday. I lost, and I tried to trade it twice. I remember getting it at 58.12. I lost, went down to 57.92. I took myself out, and I tried it again at 58.07, and it came back down, and I got out. And then it sort of rode the wave for the rest of the day. So this was definitely still on my radar, and so I got into the trade. I watched this pullback, and then I got into the trade right here at 58.75. I thought this was going to be more like a scalp trade for me. I can see again, some of these things, if you can stand the froth and hold on, there's a lot of money being made. 58.89 is when I got out the first half, and then I watched it come up here. Got up to 59.24. Now I have to bring out the SPY, and you're going to see what happened here. Now, it doesn't look so dramatic. See this blue line here? Now, the FOMC minutes were at 2 o'clock today. And you can see right here the SPY, this blue line is it's almost like a consolidation. And then all of a sudden the drop, a little bit of a drop. It's not on this chart, it doesn't look that significant, but let's just bring up the SPY. So you can see right here, let me get rid of you can see right here is 2 o'clock and the drop, another candle drop, and then the buyers took over, moved it up to here, but then the sellers took over, dropped it back down, and then it dropped all the way down here, and then all of a sudden the buyers just took over again. Like, who cares? Okay. But the problem is that you can get ruined when you're in a long trade if you have the trade right there. Well, the interesting thing for me was that TGX, I'll bring back the comparison again. And so here is 2 o'clock, and you can see that it actually kept going up. So I was very happy with that. I thought, okay, when it's marching to its own beat, it doesn't care what the SPY is doing at that point. But then I don't know if this was just a delayed reaction or a normal market reaction for this particular stock, because it had moved up fairly smartly. So bottom line is that I took half out at 58.89 and the other half out at 59.05 as it came back down. And I can see later on, it came right back up. Get rid of that. it jogged down here, and then it came right back up to 59.70. So um, I guess the good news, if you're a bull, is that the FOMC meeting minutes had nothing really. Uh, let's see where the SPY is right now. I mean, we're at 199.06. There's going to be a party when it hits 200. I'm telling you. And that could be tomorrow. It really could be tomorrow. But every little piece of whatever this was, I don't know if it's bad news or whatever it was, it's shaken off and people just step in and buy. So could be an exciting day tomorrow if it hits 200. So that's it. Again, I'm astounded. I had no bounce plays, but always can find when I have trade ideas, I can always find something to trade usually. And today was no exception. So let me just bring back the cover page. Here's how to get into the room, and hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow.